The maiden edition of the show this week is here with us. We thank God for another week. There's a Sports Today live here on Joy Sports on Multi TV, and on the show this morning we're going to be bringing you all the highlights of the El Clasico, Ghana's version of the El Clasico that was played at the Accra Sports Stadium. And still, mate, that game came to an end. We'll be bringing you the highlights of that together with, of course, the results of other matches in the Globe Premier League. Now, when you get to see the league table, you realize that it's getting really close at the top. But hey, at the bottom, Real Tamale United have said goodbye to all and sundry. They are not going to be playing in the Globe Premiership next season. We will also be keeping you up to speed with the performance of Ghanaian players in Europe. And guess who has won the Scudetto? It's a certain Kojo Asamoah. First season for Juventus, and he gets to win the Italian Serie A. We're also keeping you up to date with the performance of other Ghanaian players in the major European leagues. Yaya Samoa-Gyan, the skipper of the senior national team, is in the news. And what's the latest about him? Well, he says that he's not going to be moving to Europe anytime soon, and he wants to be staying in the United Arab Emirates. Now, over the weekend as well, there was a boxing bonanza organized by Golden Mike Promotions. Our cameras were there, and we'll bring you all the fights, all the 7 fights that transpired at the Accra Sports Stadium, including that big one involving Bukom Banku. Well, he's also known as Brahima Kamoko. He was up against a certain Georgian by name Tevdurashvili. It's a mouthful in there, and we'll be bringing you the highlights of that one as well. Now, Ben Nunu Mensah, a presidential staffer, has also been elected as the president of the Ghana Weightlifters Association. We caught up with him. We'll be bringing you an exclusive interview we had with him as well, together with all the latest news on the continent. It was CAF Champions League action, and TP Mazembe, who has quite a number of Ghanaian internationals in their mix. They have been booted out of the CAF Champions League by Orlando Pirates of South Africa. Remember, Pirates won the competition in 1995 when they defeated ASEC Mimosa at the Ofe Boigny Stadium. We'll be bringing you the results of those matches as well. And in Europe, well, it's crunch time. And the Spanish La Liga, Football Club Barcelona getting a result. Real Madrid also getting a result. But Barca 11 points clear, and they'll be bringing you all that and more, as well as that bout involving Floyd Mayweather and Robert Guerrero. All this and more when we come back from this break. Well, it's the maiden edition of the show. Like I told you, and as usual, we begin with the sporting tabloids, quite a number of them. And here with me this morning, I have the graphic sports, the 90 minutes, the captivating Ghana sports, and of course, a very exciting sports filler. We begin with the graphic sports, and on the front page of the paper, you have all the stories from Ghana's version of the El Clasico that was played at the Accra Sports Stadium yesterday. Hearts Kotoko share spoils on the front page of the paper. And you have Bukom Banku's night, where we're going to be bringing you excerpts of the bout between himself and the Georgian Tevdurashvili. Asamoah wins our first Scudetto. Well, Juventus got a result against Palermo yesterday that secured their 29th Italian Serie A title, and Asamoah was a member of that winning team. Francesco Totti, the king of Rome, is going to be featured on the lifestyle page of the graphic sports. Okay, so we move on to the lifestyle page on page 5 of the paper, and it's that man, the Roman god, Francesco Totti. He has been with the Roman club all his life. Well, I recall seeing Totti 20 years ago playing at the Under-17 World Cup in Japan, and he is still playing. Seen here with his daughter and his wife, Ilari Blasi, having some fun in there. So that's it for the lifestyle page of the graphic sports. We move to the center spread of the graphic sports, and as usual, they're adorned with pictures of matches played in the major European leagues. And good to see Ghanaian John Mensah featuring for Stade Rennais, as well as Sule Ali Muntari playing for Milan. And of course, there are games involving Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund, a curtain raiser to the UEFA Champions League final, together with that between Chelsea and Manchester United. The Blues getting a result, courtesy strike from Juan Manuel Mata. So that's it for the center spread of the graphic sports. To the back page of the paper, and you have Hearts Kotoko share spoils in there. The full story of that game involving Kumasi, Asante Kotoko, and Accra Hearts with crowd violence, nearly mass game. It was such an eyesore for all the fans who decided to take the law into their own hands. Very, very poor on the part, and for these hooligans who make their way to the stadium, the actions are just simply unacceptable. Vital win for Tema Youth. Well, they are still languishing in 14th place. They might just be able to maintain their hold in the Glow Premier League, and well, it's pretty close at the bottom between Arsenal, Tema Youth, Lions, Liberty, New Idibiase. It's very, very close as to who survives the Glow Premier League. So all this and more in the Graphic Sports. Just grab a copy and get to read a lot more of these exciting stories. We move on to the 90 minutes, and you'd bet that the 90 minutes is always adorned with stories of almost all the players who make it happen in Europe. Well, and strangely, this time I don't see any story on Andre Didayu on the front page of the 90 minutes. He's almost always there. The two Ghanaians who play for AC Milan, three if you like, add Mario Bewa Balotelli. And you have real shocker. 75% Madrid fans want Essien out. Oof. Get out of here is the story on the front page of the 90 minutes. Well, I thought he put in a decent performance in the second leg against Borussia Dortmund. Maybe simply not good enough. RVP does it again. He wins the Barclays Player of the Month for Manchester United and himself. Kotoko versus Hearts. All the action also in there. And Man City WAG also on the front page of the paper. So that's it for the front page of the 90 minutes. Let's move on to the center spread. And as usual, there are very lovely pictures of our players, the major players of course. Michael Essien is there, confirmed. Mourinho to Chelsea in a £10 million a year package. Well, what are you going to do with that kind of money? Messi is the best defender in the world. A quote attributed to former Barca coach Pep Guardiola. Jose Mourinho is also in there, and that man, Mario Balotelli, who is almost always in the news for the right and wrong reasons, if you like, seen here as well, and he's been dumped, we are told, by the beautiful, funny Neguesha from Belgium. Brazil striker Albert test positive for drugs, also in the center spread of the 90 minutes. What do we have on the back page of the paper? Pictures of matches played in the major European leagues and the QPR. Well, relegated at this point. They were up in action against the Gunners. They lost by a lone goal. Bale, the man who got a goal that saw Spurs get all 3 points. We'll be bringing you the highlights of these matches and the English Premier League highlights. All those and more on the back page of the 90 minutes newspaper. We move on to the captivating Ghana sports. And again, there are pictures of Ghanaian players adorning the front page of the paper. Michael Essien is there. And Abasa offer £40 million for David Luiz. Hearts Kotoko duel in there as well. Picture of Michael Okufu and Mahatma Otu. And up to $63,000 missing. Is it Black Stars bonus? Well, where is this money missing? We are told there is robbery at the Ghana Football Association. We're going to be going a lot deeper into that story. Essien in trouble. No Black Stars, no support for charity match. Cristiano Ronaldo, Dembaba, Robin Van Persie, and Floyd Mayweather also adorning the front page of the captivating Ghana sports. So grab a copy of the Ghana Sports and get to see a lot more of these stories. And finally, we bring you the exciting sports filler on the front page of this paper. You have quite a number of players adorning the front page of this paper, from the local to the international scene. Accra Hearts of Oak versus Kumasi Asante Kotoko match report in there. Frank Lampard celebrating one of his goals in a blue shirt. He scored 201 goals for the club. Bridge shake-up, 6 players for sale, and these are players of Chelsea. Flora Maluda is there. Uriel Romeo is there as well. David Luiz, and quite a number of players who play in the Spanish Liga. Jose Mourinho and his family, Angel Di Maria and Cristiano Ronaldo also there. Lorente and Lionel Messi before the game between Athletic Bilbao and Football Club Barcelona, of course. Michael Essien and Pep Guardiola all on the front page of the exciting sports fella. On the back page of the paper, remember this man in 2008? He was the biggest name in Ghana football, Junior Agogo. Where has he been all these years? With his tattoos and all, he says, I am lean, mean Ghanaian goal scoring machine, Junior Agogo, and there for many, many years. Ghanaians have not had the opportunity of seeing him. Well, he says he's still around somewhere on the globe. So that's it for the sporting tabloids. Make your way to the various newsstands and get to read a lot more on these stories. We move on and begin with the El Clasico, Ghana's version of the El Clasico. And you know we are talking of the game involving Kumasi, Asante Kotoko, and Accra Hearts of Oak. That match was honored at the Accra Sports Stadium. We bring you the highlights.
Kanazi's turn. This is Issa Yakubu. And coming in to help is Bobby Anton. Timely clearance by the Phobians. Corner kick, Hearts about 2 players in the 18-yard box. And it goes to Sulama. Up.
The way they are playing, you see that they are not rushing to concede anyway. They are afraid to concede. So they have more people back.
Stop a drive. Good play. Winful Kobina gets the first goal for Accra Hearts of Oak out of nothing. And coach was explaining.
Fans, they would also want to look at history at
Mahatma would want to have a crack at it. Well, Hearts missed the opportunity.
Defenders were very, very quick to it, and this is exactly what we've been talking about.
It's now an opportunity for the Porcupine Warriors. Can they get themselves back into the game?
But he said, oh, let me go and save it, and exactly he did that.
And with the corner kick, chance for Kotoko. Another reflex save. And as punishment, the GFA slammed a 6-match home ban on Kotoko, but it was later reduced to 3 when they apologized. Kotoko now in the danger zone of Accra Hearts of Oak. Can they get a cross in? Tatalugan goes out, beating to it. And Kotoko are back in the game. Themselves back into the game. Cross from Richard Import. Tatalugan came out, missed it completely. And Michael Hellenberg rose to the occasion and he puts Kotoko back on level pegging.
The prince has spoken about the fact that Tatalugan really has committed a lot of blunders when it came to him moving up.
1 goal apiece between Hearts and Kotoko. Fans have started trooping out of the stadium. Ashite Olenu goes round 2. Ashite Olenu still has the ball, leaves it behind. Goes round 3, sends him the cross. But he shot straight at Sulama Abdullahi. Difficult to tell what exactly he wanted to do. He's got speed, but he holds on to the ball, lays on a pass, gets the 1-2. Chance for Kotoko! Goal! No! It's all over.
What a game at the Accra Sports Stadium. That game ending in a stalemate. Accra Hearts of Oak making a point, and the Kotoko could have won it right at the death. That ball that just wouldn't make its way into the net. 1 goal apiece. It ended, and it's making the Globe Premier League table look very, very interesting at this point. But before we take a look at the Globe Premier League table, well, there's another story concerning this game as well, and this time around it has to do with the Black Stars goalie Fatau Dauda. And what's the story about him? Well, we understand that the Porcupine Warriors want to have Ghana's #1 choice goalkeeper Fatau Dauda in post for them as a replacement for Abdullahi Sulama. Now, reigning Ghanaian champions Kumasi Asante Kotoko are planning to bid for Black Stars goalkeeper Fatal Dauda when the current season wraps up. Now, there's an understanding that Masoud Didi Dramani, the coach of Kotoko, has requested for the services of the Ghanaian international, as there's growing concern concerning the availability of Sulama for Kotoko next season. It will be interesting to see whether Kotoko are able to land the services of Sulama or otherwise. Let's get to see the Globe Premier League table now. Results first, of course, and we get to see the results of other matches that were played in the Globe Premier League over the weekend. It was Ken Faisal 3, Bandu Heart of Lions 1, Indiana Stars 1, Ash Gold 2, Arsenal defeating the Medeiros Professionals by a lone goal. Mediama Sporting Club also losing strangely by 1-2 to Liberty Professionals. Hearts of Oak and Kotoko drawing 1-1. We brought you the highlights of that game. New DBS 0, Brickum Chelsea 0, Dwarfs 2, Wild All Stars 1, and Tama Youth 2, Real Tamale United 0. At this point, Real Tamale United are consigned for relegation. Let's get to see the Globe Premier League table. This is the first half of the table. Of course, Brickum Chelsea are at the top on 43 points. Kotoko in second place on 42. Mediama Sporting Club also on 42. It's getting really, really close at the top. Dwarfs fourth on 38 points. Ash Gold on 38 points as well. Indiana Stars on 35. Wow Stars on 33. And Accra Hearts of Oak for the first time in the league and the first half on 33 points. Let's get to see the second part of the Globe Premier League table. Ken Faisal on 33 points, so it's very, very close. And the Medeiros Professionals also on 33, up to 3-4 clubs on 33 points in the Globe Premier League. Edubiase on 32 points. Liberty Professionals on 31 points. Kwandu Heart of Lions on 29. Tama Youth on 26. Arsenal on 24. And Royal Tabla United at this point, well, it's going to be a miracle if they make it in there. There are only 6 matches to go. Even if they win all 6 matches, they are going to get a total of 23 points. And that, at this point, would not be good enough to see them stay in the Globe Premier League next season. Let's focus on Ghanaian players now, and obviously all of us are in celebratory mood because a certain Kojo Asamoah has won the Serie A for the first time. The Italians call it the Scudetto. Now, Ghana midfielder Kojo Asamoah has won his first Serie A title by helping Juventus to a 1-0 win over Palermo on Sunday. Now, the 24-year-old played 67 minutes of the win at the Juventus Stadium, which sees the old lady clinch their second consecutive Serie A title. Arturo Vidal converted a 59th minute penalty to help Antonio Conte's side claim 3 vital points to add to their now unassailable 83 points with 3 games left. The Bianconeri had to work hard for the win after the 83rd minute sending off of striker Paul Pogba. It is the second major silverware won by the Ghanaian international who joined Juventus at the beginning of the season. Well, congratulations to the young man for this particular win. We still stay in Italy, and this time around there have been some stories on Sule Ali Muntari. Now, Ghana midfielder Sule Ali Muntari can hope for a good future at Milan after manager Massimiliano Allegri denied reports that he'll be joining Serie A rivals AS Roma. Allegri, who is seen to have favoured Muntari since the midfielder joined the club, was rumoured to have reached a deal to join Roma at the end of the season. Now, his departure would have meant that Muntari could face an uncertain future at the club, as has more players in various positions he has been deployed. But Allegri insists that such reports in the Italian media are wide of the mark. Now, Milan earlier denied the reports in Milan-based paper Corriere della Sera that Allegri had signed a 3-year contract with Roma after refusing a deal to join Inter Milan. We still stay on some Ghanaian players, and this time around we are focusing on Emmanuel Frimpong. Now, what's the story about Frimpong? Now, Fulham coach Martin Yeo would want to keep practically all his players at the club for next season, including Ghanaian international Emmanuel Frimpong. Now, Frimpong is on loan from Arsenal to Fulham, and it looks like Yeo is keen on keeping the Ghanaian international in the near future. Now, the midfielder is expected to return to Arsenal at the end of the season as his loan ends. Now, Fulham has 11 players who are out of contract or at the end of their loan deals this summer, and Yall is confident of retaining these players. Now, the Dutch trainer issued the timely reminder for any Fulham player with designs on the move that life is not always better away from West London. Frimpong could get more playing time at Fulham if he opts to stay and make his deal permanent. Or would wait to see if he gets to stay at the London-based club. From Fulham, we go to FC Porto, and you know the Ghanaian international who plays there, Christian Atsu. Now, Christian Atsu's Porto turned the pressure back on Benfica in the race for the Portuguese league title as they won 3-1 at Nacional on Saturday. Now, as a result, Porto are now a point behind Benfica, although the leaders get to play against Estoril later this evening. Now, the lead deal then face off next weekend, and to get the destiny of the title back into their own hands, Porto need their rivals to drop points. They did all they could on Saturday, though, scoring 3 goals inside 22 minutes to set things up. Now, James Rodriguez got them going with the opener after 10 minutes, and Eliquim Mangala made it 9 minutes later. Lucho Gonzalez added a 22nd minute penalty for good measure, meaning Daniel Candea's 27th minute spot kick for Nacional was immaterial. Achu sat on the bench throughout the duration of the game. From FC Porto, we go to Belgium, and this time around we are looking at Bernard Yakumoji. Well, he's not been seen in a Black Star shirt for some time. Well, he's knocking very hard on the doors of the Black Stars now. Now, Ghana midfielder Bernard Yakumoji was in full-time action for Racing Genk as they trashed leaders Zuta Waregem to move within a point of the top of the Belgian Jupiler League Championship play-off table. Now, the home side made a bad start with a 5th minute own goal from Bruno Godeu, but worse was to come 5 minutes later when Steven Monrose extended Genk's advantage. Now, Benjamin De Cuellar then made it 3-0 after 71 minutes with El Nayev Bada rounding over the scoring 5 minutes from time. Now, Kumoji has been pivotal in recent matches for Genk as they seek to fight to win the league title. Now, the win left Genk above Anderlecht into second place, although the latter will take over top sport with a victory over Daniel Lapari's Standard Liège. Now, to the skipper of the senior national team, the Black Stars, and that's Yao Asamoah-Gyan. Now, what's the story concerning the skipper? Well, Al-Ain and Black Star skipper Yao Asamoah-Gyan is on move over reports linking him away from the United Arab Emirates to an unnamed club in Europe. Now, media reports in Ghana indicate that Gyan, who has scored an amazing 50 goals in 47 outings for his club in the Etisalat League, would leave soon for Europe after he won a second league title last month. But the former Sunderland star has rubbished those reports in the local media by giving an assurance that he is not thought of parting company with the UAE Pro League champions anytime soon. Now, Gyan, who won the Golden Boot Award last season with 22 goals in the Pro Etisalat League, is on course to win another accolade after he scored a hat-trick in their last match against Dubai Cultural Sports Club to take his goal tally to 28 goals in 20 league games that season, with his closest rival Graffiti on 24 goals. Let's do some boxing now. And over the weekend, specifically at the Accra Sports Stadium, Golden Mike Promotions held another boxing bonanza. It looks like the promoters in Ghana are really on song and on fire in the last couple of months. We've seen the Baby Jet Promotions do their own thing at the Accra Sports Stadium, and this time around, it was Golden Mike and Mike Tete together with Henry Colemanley Spain. Well, they ran Golden Boy Promotions. Now, they put together a 7-bout bonanza at the Accra Sports Stadium. Our cameras were there, and the biggest fight, of course, on the night was the fight between Brahima Kamoko and the Georgian Tev Dorashvili in an international cruiserweight contest. We bring you the highlights.
Step back. Break.
And this was a bout involving Bukum Bankuo, also known as Brahima Kamoko, against Georgian Georgia Tevdorashvili at the Accra Sports Stadium. It was an international cruiserweight contest. Bukum Banku in his black and white trunks, and the Georgian in the colors of his national flag, the red and the white. Bukum Banku pummeling his opponents with some very strong jabs. Some very strong jabs in there, and referee Gatti making sure that the two boxers did follow the rules. The Georgian starting very, very well. For me, he won the first 2 rounds of the bout, but well, it was clear after the body shots of the Ghanaian that the Georgian was going to be struggling in this particular bout. Bukum Banku is looking forward to getting an international title fight shortly, and his managers are saying that the boxers in the major organizations at this point are refusing to take on their man because he seems to have too much power. Banku came into this bout weighing 203 pounds against his opponents who weighed 198 pounds in the cruiserweight division. Bukum Banku had earlier fought in the light heavyweight division, that's the 175 pound, and has now moved up in weight. And at this point, really dealing with his Georgian opponent with some very, very tough and strong body punches. The Georgian resorting to clinching at this point. He just couldn't respond to those very, very strong punches of the Ghanaian. And it was not surprising that he failed to respond after round number 6. He clearly had enough. Aggressive looking Bukum Banku at this point. Oh, I mean, he has his own way of doing things in the ring, and just when one of these rounds was over, just maybe he knew that he had done the business, and he was declared winner after round number 6 when the Georgian failed to respond. We'll be listening to the man Bukum Banku very shortly after the bout and what he had to say.
The guy is a good opponent. He's a very good opponent. When I don't get fit training hard, the guy will disturb me. But I want to control the fight because the guy is clinching too much.
He's clinching too much. But how did you do it to be able to win this fight?
I'm training hard to come and win this fight. When I watch the guy, I know that the guy is a good boxer.
Let me tell the corporate Ghana that it is the time now for the corporate Ghana to sponsor.
Let the phone come down. Let the phone come down.
Boxing.
Our dream is work country.
For now, as I can tell you, I can assure you that we are almost obtaining the world title. It could be either with the IPO, it could be the WBO, it could be the WBC. The fact of the matter is, we have the people really running away from bamboo.
Who are we talking about? Who are running away?
We're talking about all the bodies. I'm talking about WBO. I'm talking about WBA. I am really talking about the BBC, the IBF. The fact is, they know that we do have a quality and a deliberate boxer here in Ghana.
So Bukom Banku getting a win against his opponents, and then his manager, Henry Manley Spain, is saying at this point that most of the boxers in his division are running away from his man. Is that really the case? And, well, hopefully in the next few weeks and months, I will be following this particular story and get to bring you the latest on this one. Well, there were other bouts on the night. We bring you some of the undercards, beginning with the bout between Issa Samer and Robison Omsarashvili. And this was a bout involving Ghanaian Issa Samer and Robison Omsarashvili for the World Youth Light Middleweight Championship. The Samer brothers were in action, and guess who was at ringside? The professor himself, Azuma Zoom Nelson. Joshua Clottey was there. Alfred Kuti was there as well. Ike Bazooka Clottey, I also understand, that was in the stands. All to support the Ghanaian boxers who were lined up for bouts on the night. Issa Samer in a devastating form against his opponent, also from Georgia, Robison Omsarashvili, for the World Youth Light Middleweight Championship. The punches from the Ghanaian, unbelievable. When you are the receiving end of such punches, it's almost impossible to stand up to these punches. The Georgian clearly at this point not in the best of shapes to continue with the bout. But he chooses to continue, and he will be pummeled into submission by the Ghanaian. Flurry of exchanges there. And you were wondering whether the ref was going to be stopping the bout at this point. The Georgian being subjected to severe beatings at this point and goes down yet again. The referee doing his job in the ring. The mandatory count of 8 being administered at this point. Well, the bout is over, and Issa Sameh is now the new World Youth Light Middleweight Champion.
I really appreciate that. If you can help me in that game.
Okay.
And all my audience, all my friends, and my dad.
Thank you very much. One of the finest coaches, Coach Asari, he has dedicated this to yourself and your wife. How proud are you today?
Well, I can't say I'm very happy because I lost my wife. And I'm still mourning. Maybe on the 10th, today's week, we have to bury my wife. Wonderful. And I'm happy that he won this fight because it's very important for me. This fight, at least, it gives me some energy.
Wonderful.
Keep on the fight. I'm very happy for you.
The boxer dedicating the winner to the wife of his coach, Isaac Asari, will definitely be there next week to support the man who also incidentally happens to be the coach of the Black Bombers team. We still stay on the bouts on Friday, and this time around we'll bring you the highlights of the bouts between the brother of Issa Sameh, Baster Sameh, who was also in action against Nigerian Ademola Fani. Okay, so this was also one of the bouts of the night. We saw Issa Sameh earlier on. This one is his brother, Basti Sameh, who was up against Ademola Fani of Nigeria in an international super middleweight contest. The Nigerian in the colors of his nation, the green and white. The Ghanaian in his, black trunks with the Ghanaian flag in there as well. Throwing some very solid jabs and some body punches as well. The Nigerian starting very well, just like almost all of the foreigners on the night, but succumbing to the Ghanaians who had a stronger and a better punching powers and were landing with very, very accurate shots. Sameh being cautioned for hitting the back of the head of his opponent from Nigeria. That is unacceptable. The judge is teaching us the rules as the fights. The referee, teaching us the rules as the bouts go on. Bastel landing some of very, very solid combinations there. And Fani is the punches were coming in thick and fast. Going down in the very first round of this international super middleweight contest. The referee doing the mandatory 8 counts at this point to be sure whether the Nigerian was fit enough to continue with the bout. Oh, and he goes down yet again. And the mandatory 8 counts. Again being administered by the ref. And it was all over because the Nigerian could simply not take the punches from the Ghanaian.
Ladies and gentlemen, is no other person than the boxer who is also known to be called the Beast.
So the Samuel brothers making Ghana proud. There were also other bouts on the night. And again, we bring you the highlights of the bout between Joshua Okai from Ghana and Alaba Okusote in junior middleweight contest. And this was another bout on the night involving Ghanaian Joshua Okai. He's a former Commonwealth champion. His career for me has not really gone that well. He was one of the boxers primed and tipped to make it very, very big in the sport. Sojourn in the United States and in the UK. Unfortunately, the big bouts and the big fights never came his way. He's now back in Ghana to relaunch his career. He has his name on his trunks, Joshua, also known as Bukum Chachu. Joshua Okai up against Alaba Okusote of Nigeria. Chachu fighting as a southpaw, his opponent fighting as an orthodox boxer. The Nigerian landing some very good shots at this point. But just like in all the other bouts of the night, it was only a matter of time before he succumbed to the might of the Ghanaian. Chachu landing a flurry of punches at this point. The Nigerian is in trouble, and what a punch. What a punch to the head of the Nigerian. He just walked into the punch like that. Okusote just walked into the punch, and he was very, very lucky to have survived this round. Giving up his all. Okai choosing to work on the body of his opponent. And the Nigerian just about survives that round. Joshua Okai, also known as the Bukum Chachu, doing his own thing in the ring. Landing some very, very good shots. And these shots would get you the point if the fight travels the distance. Chachu throwing some wild punches. His opponent doing very, very well to avoid them at this point. The Ghanaian fighting as a southpaw. And again lands some solid punches to the head of his opponent. The rugged southpaw. Some solid body punches in here. The Nigerian, well, the towel has been shown, that white towel, signifying that the Nigerian at this point could not continue with the bout. He had had enough and has suffered a lot. Joshua Okai winning this bout inside the distance.
Of the president of Ghana Boxing Trainers Association, Coach Holloway. This one, Bukum Chachu.
Another fight on the night, this time between Albert Mensah and Ben Odamite.
Step back, step back. Watch your hands, watch your hands. Bring up punches up. Time. Box.
And this was a bout involving Albert Mensah, one of the hottest prospects in Ghanaian boxing, taking on Ben Odamite for the IBF Continental Africa Super Featherweight Championship. Ben Odamite fighting in the colors of the Ghanaian flag. The shorter and diminutive Ben Odamite and the blue and white trunks. For me, this was one of the most exciting fights on the night. The number of punches that were thrown by Albert Mensah in this bout, unbelievable. And these punches were not just being thrown, but they were landing. Ben Odamite really taking in a lot of punches in this bout. Albert Mensah managed by Napoleon Tego. And for me, he is one of Ghana's brightest sports. He is managed very well. Odamite sent crashing to the ground. The referee made Mensah a couple, just making sure that Odamite was fit to continue with this bout. Two orthodox boxers trading punches for fun. Albert Mensah, solid jabs, solid punches. And again, the bout will not travel the distance, and you could hear Napoleon Tego telling everyone, Ben Kebu, as in, I told you so. Albert Mensah winning after round number 6 to retain his IBF Continental African Super Featherweight Championship. Albert Mensah winning on the night, and we say congratulations to all the boxers who got a win on Friday, and hopefully we look forward to seeing these guys win a lot more laurels in their chosen professional. There was an all-lady bout on the night as well between the Nigerian Helen Josephs and a lady from Hungary by name Mariana Guyas. It was a very interesting bout, one of the shortest I have ever seen in my life. The shortest probably would be the bout involving I Corte and Dindo Canoy of the Philippines in 1992 at the Orient Cinema. That bout ended when people were now even getting in and didn't even see the bouts. And there was something very similar in the bout involving Helen Josephs of Nigeria, who is based in Ghana, and Mariana Guyas of Hungary. Let's have a look. Well, that bout's coming to an end very, very, very quickly, if you ask me. The Nigerian Helen Josephs, who is based in Ghana, getting a result in the very first round against his opponents, Mariama Guyas of Hungary. And what a night it was. Under 21 seconds, this bout was over. Helen Josephs being decorated with this bout for winning this fight.
Many have expected you to go the distance so that they will enjoy your boxing, but it looks like you ended the fight prematurely.
Because I know whenever I go to stomach, not all the women can stand my blow.
Why?
Because it's very hot.
Now, from here, where do we go?
To the world title.
Now, your General Secretary traveled all the way from Nigeria to Ghana. You arrived today. What is the message to him before you get back to Nigeria to show them this title?
I want you to go and deliver this message that Helen Joseph have won the title and I'm still going to the world title. So let them expect me that I'm coming to present this title to them.
Now, I don't know, who are you looking forward to fight in the world title? You were, some time ago you were outside to go and fight. You lost that fight. Who are you targeting now?
I don't know. Anybody can come for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, now finally, what message do you have for your fans?
Please, so what I have for them is that let them believe in Helen Joseph. Whenever I'm fighting, let them come out and come and watch me because I will make them happy.
Well, she says whenever she's in action, people should come and watch her because she's going to make everyone happy. Congrats once again to Helen Josephs of Nigeria, who is based in Ghana, getting a 21-second result against Mariama Guyas of Hungary. Away from the sport of boxing, we do some weightlifting now. And last Friday, Ben Nunu Mensah, a presidential staffer, was elected president of the Ghana Weightlifters Association. We caught up with him after the election, and this is what he had to say.
Challenge, just like any other position that you step into, and this is even bigger because if you consider the one into whose shoes I'm stepping, that's a very huge shoes to step into. I mean, everybody knows Neil Ante and what he's done for Ghana sports and his capabilities and abilities. So if you're taking over from somebody like Neil Ante in an area of sports, then it must be a very, very daunting task you're putting yourself into.
Does this put you under any kind of pressure to deliver within a certain specified period?
Well, once you take up new position in any field, there's a certain level of pressure which comes on you, and I think for some of us, the bigger the pressure, the better it makes us. So for me, it's okay. It's good. The pressure of having to do better than what your predecessor did, and once these challenges are there to bring out the best in you. So for me, it's okay. It's a challenge I've well accepted, and I'm sure I'm going to live up to the task.
Have you set any targets for yourself?
Well, I've been having a lot of discussions since I heard Honorable Neil Ante was going to resign from the Federation. I've had a lot of discussions, a background discussion with people with a lot of people, especially the weightlifters, and I've been looking at what the challenges has been. I've been with the Federation for the past 6 years, and I know some of the challenges, but every year problems are solved and then they are left with someone. So at least I have a fair idea of all the challenges that we'll face, and I think that For now, the biggest challenge that the Federation was facing is medical care for the weightlifters, which I voluntarily did sometime about a month and a half ago. Put all of them on the National Health Insurance Scheme, just as an ordinary member of the Weightlifting Federation. There are a lot of things that we need to do, especially like equipment, which of course, if you follow the Congress, we don't have enough equipment, and then also trainers. And these are things that we've discussed, and somehow we're in discussion with a gentleman from the International Weightlifting Federation, and once we get a competent coach, so long as we can host and then house the person, they are ready to give us a coach. And I think that's where I want to start from. Once I get a technical brain who can bring the sports up, I'm sure most of the other little challenges which has to do with our local training conditions here, we'll address them accordingly.
You'll be leading Ghana's delegation to the Commonwealth Games as well. And in there, you're saying that you're disappointed if your federation will win. Is it one of your targets?
Yes, just like I said on the floor of Congress. I mean, if I'm going out there as the leader of the delegation, and then I happen to be the president of a particular federation which is taking part in the Commonwealth Games, I think it will be very unfortunate on my part if my federation doesn't do well during the games. So that also puts an extra pressure on me. Whatever we do to prepare these boys very well for the games and make sure that they win medals, I'm going to do it. And it's something that I've spoken to my executives about, and we are very confident we'll be able to win medals. I have thrown that challenge to them when a couple of them came to see me that they had heard Honorable Nilante wants to step down, and they think I should be the right person to step into the shoes. I told them, look, it's going to be a contract between you and I. I would do my part as a president, as an executive member, and then you also need to do your part. I mean, if I get all the facilities, all the training equipment, and these boys don't go for training or they don't take their training seriously, then we're not going to get anywhere. So there's a contract, even though it's not a written contract, between myself and then the boys and then the girls, that look, I am going to give you whatever you need to make sure that you peak. And you also have to make sure that you train and then you get to the peak. So we're going to do that together.
Ben Nunu Mensah on his election as president of the Ghana Weightlifters Association. We wish him well in his new appointment. We'll do a round of commercials. When we come back, we bring you stories from the continent. We go over to the continent now, and there were surprises as far as the CAF Champions League is concerned, because four-time champions TP Mazembe have crashed out of this competition after winning by a lone goal in front of their home fans in Lubumbashi. Well, that win was not good enough to see them go through to the next stage of the competition. That's the group proper, because the South Africans Pirates won by 3-1 in the first leg. Let's pick up the result of other matches played in the CAF Champions League over the weekend. Who got a result and who has made it to the next stage of the competition? St. George drawing 2-2 with Zamalek. Ali also drawing 0-0 with CA Bezatin. TP Mazembe getting a lone goal win over Orlando Pirates. Not good enough to see them to the next stage of the competition. Rukativo Libolu also winning by 3-1 against the Nugu Rangers of Nigeria. Esperance of Tunisia defeating JSM Bejaya of Algeria by a lone goal. So it's Sports of Cote d'Ivoire also drawing 0-0 with Fuse Rabat. Stade Malien drawing 0 with Cotton Sport of Cameroon, and Etente Setif defeating AC Leopards by 3-1. The first leg also ending 3-1. Leopards making it to the next stage of the competition, courtesy the lottery of penalty shootouts. Now, Ghana's opponents, Zambia, will be bidding to host the 2019 African Cup of Nations. Now, the Southern African states will be competing against Kenya, Nigeria, DR Congo, Algeria, and Liberia, who have also expressed interest in hosting the biennial showpiece in 2019. Now, Zambian FA boss Kalusha Bwalia revealed his country's determination to bring the Cup of Nations to the people of Zambia by providing the needed infrastructure. Now, Bwalia reckons that Zambia's hosting of the COSAFA Senior Challenge Cup later this month would help provide parts of the infrastructure needed to making their bid a success for the 2019 Nations Cup. Now, Nigerian striker Emmanuel Emenike underwent a knee surgery on Thursday and will be out of action for 6 weeks. Now, it means the 25-year-old who was joint top scorer at this year's African Cup of Nations would miss the World Cup qualifiers against Kenya and Namibia next month. His absence would be most keenly felt by the Super Eagles, who are on level points with Malawi at the top of their World Cup Group F qualifying. And Roger Palmgreen has been appointed coach of Namibia just a month before they play the World Cup qualifiers against Malawi and African champions Nigeria. Now, the 50-year-old Swede was coach of Sierra Leone when they competed at the 1996 African Cup finals and has also coached Rwanda. His last job was with South African Premier League club Amazulu, who fired him late last year. Palmgreen replaces Bernard Kankuja, who quit in March after a defeat by Malawi. Well, let's pick up the results of other matches played in the English Premier League at this point. All matches honoured over the weekend. So you have a Liverpool drawing 0-0 with Everton, Man United losing by 0-1 to Chelsea, Fulham 2, Reading 4, Norwich 1, Aston Villa 2, Swansea 0, Man City 0, Tottenham 1, Southampton 0, West Brom 2, Wigan 3, West Ham United 0, Newcastle United 0, and QPR 0, Arsenal 1. Let's get looking at the English Premier League table, and I'll get to see how the league is shaping up. We get to see the first half of the table. Manchester United and 85 points. Well, they've long won the league. City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, Everton, Liverpool, West Brom, and Swansea in that order. Let's get to see the second part of the table. West Ham, Stoke, Fulham, Aston Villa, Southampton, Norwich, Newcastle United, Sunderland, and Wigan Athletic in that order. And there's the last bit of the table. Reading and Queen's Park Rangers at this point relegated. Ways in there. Let's get to see the results of other matches played in the Spanish Liga. Okay, so we have the league table there. Football Club Barcelona on top. Well, after winning yesterday's game, they now have 88 points, 11 points ahead of Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Real Sociedad, Valencia, Malaga, Real Betis, Sevilla, and Rayo Vallecano in that order. Well, we pick up the results of other matches played in the Spanish Liga now. Mallorca 1, Levante 1, Real Zaragoza 3, Rayo Vallecano 0, Sevilla 3, Espanyol 0, Valencia 4, Osasuna 0, Granada 1, Malaga 0. Real Madrid defeating Valladolid by 4 goals to 3. Deportivo La Coruña also drawing 0-0 with Atletico Madrid, and Celta Vigo drawing 1-0 with Athletic Bilbao. Udinese defeating Sampdoria by 3 goals to 1. Milan edging out Torino by a lone goal. Catania 3, Siena 0. Genoa 4, Pescara 1. Juventus 1, Palermo 0. Lazio 6, Bologna 0. Parma 2, Atalanta 0. Napoli 2, Internazionale 1. Chievo Verona 0, Cagliari 0, and Fiorentina 0, Roma 1. Let's get to see the Italian Serie A table. So Juventus and Napoli, Milan, Fiorentina, Roma, Udinese, Inter, Lazio, and Catania in that order from the first part of the table. Let's go square the Signal Iduna Park. Let's pick up the results of other matches played in the German Bundesliga. And there we have it. Freiburg 2, Augsburg 0, Hamburg 1, VfL Wolfsburg 1, Eintracht Frankfurt 3, Fortuna Düsseldorf 1, Hannover 96 2, Mainz 2, Nuremberg 0, Bayer Leverkusen 2, VfB Stuttgart 0, SPVV Greuther Fürth 2, Werder Bremen 2, TSG Hoffenheim 2, Borussia Dortmund 1, Bayern Munich 1, and Borussia Mönchengladbach 0, Schalke 0 1. Okay, so this is the Bundesliga table. Bayern Munich, champions, weeks already. They're top on 85 points. Dortmund, Bayer Leverkusen, Schalke, Frankfurt, Freiburg, Hamburg, Borussia Mönchengladbach, and Hannover 96 in the first half of the table. We get to see the second half of the table. Mainz, Wolfsburg, Stuttgart, Nuremberg, Werder Bremen, Fortuna Düsseldorf, Augsburg, Hoffenheim and Greuther Fürth in that order. Well, our time is up and we do have to check out of here. Thanks to the entire Joy Sports production team for making the show come your way. Wednesday is the next stop for the program.